Hey there. Thanks so much for taking the time to ask some questions. It shows you're really trying and wanting to sort this out, and hearing that, it lights me up. I am here to make this go easier for you. I'm totally jazzed to assist. We got a great one about sweeteners. Is coconut sugar good stuff? What's safe to use as a sweetener? And great question. I want to go into a few points to make sense of this. The first one is that the taste of sweet is a calibrated taste. So what I mean by that is literally the number of sweet taste buds you have and how the nerves respond to them, that changes rather promptly. So, a friend, JJ Virgin, she had a show called Freaky Eaters. And there was one case I remember of a woman who ate sugar. So far that doesn't sound shocking, but I mean she ate sugar, like the powder of sugar, by the spoonful. That was pretty much all she ate. And that was the case for years. Her health was really wrecked because of this. Now, JJ tried to get her to taste other foods. JJ gave her some very fresh, ripe mango, for example, which is like the sweetest tasting fruit you can imagine. The poor woman tasted the mango, and to her, it was very bitter and repulsive. I would imagine some very intense, bitter Chinese herbs. That's how it tasted to her. And that was not psychological. That was a very real effect of her taste buds and her taste apparatus. They were so numb. So the more you taste heavy, powerful, intense, sweet things, the more you numb yourself to the sweet taste, and the less you experience it easily. So the cool thing was that in just over a week, she revisited that mango after, certainly a tough few days of eating foods that did not naturally taste good to her, but she stuck with it. She persevered. And over just a few days, about a week later, the mango was a whole different experience for her. And at the same time, she also tasted some straight sugar, and it was repulsively sweet. So the big thing about sweeteners is knowing that if you're on unprocessed foods, and you're not getting a lot of sugar in your diet or a lot of intense, fake, sweet things, the idea about sweeteners is really not very compelling. You'll quickly reach a point to where a carrot tastes really sweet, or beets do, and then fruit is totally a dessert. So your body can change, your body will shift, and it's really based on what you're getting. So if somewhere along the way you're having these intense, sweet hits, you will find yourself more sweet resistant, and you'll want more strong versions to break through that. So first thing I would say is don't worry as much about sweeteners, just eat foods and you'll do well. So one thing that gets asked about a lot is stevia. Stevia is a plant extract. It's crazy safe. Donna Gates, she's a good friend. She was the gal who actually brought that to America, back in the late 80s. And the versions of it used historically were green leaf stevia or white stevia. And they're fine, they're safe. They may even have some health benefits to them. There are now some highly refined versions. The big one is out now called Stevia. And the sad thing is, it is stevia based, I guess, but it does also have a lot of GMO corn and other synthetic chemicals in it, a lot of solvents as well. So not a fan of the super processed types. There is a compound called rubinicide, which is the sweet element from stevia. And there are some purified versions of that, which are fine, which are really non-toxic, and those are options too. You do not need a lot of those. Small amounts can work very well. Another compound that I do like, as far as sweeteners here and there, is xylitol. Kind of like xylophone with an X. And this one, it is derived from foods. Now the cool thing about it, it's not really absorbed. So there's not substantial amounts of it that come into your body. They're mostly just on the ride through and heading out to the toilet eventually. So not really interacting with your system. But there's a lot of data that xylitol does good things to your intestinal flora. It kills yeast, it kills some harmful bacteria. It also diminishes ear infections in kids and also sinus and throat infections. So it has positive effects that are pretty well documented. There are some who have argued about bad things with xylitol, but again, you're not absorbing it. So it doesn't really make sense to say that it could do harmful things because it's not really coming into your system. It's not going into your liver, your kidneys, or elsewhere. Some other popular sweeteners, coconut sugar, agave, honey, I would kind of lump all those together. They are natural, so is gasoline, but I don't drink that. But they are pretty high in fructose. And for a lot of us trying to manage our stress response, get our adrenals healthier, hit a good lean body weight, fructose is public enemy number one. You know, and of the three of those, I could see giving small amounts of raw, unfiltered honey from like the farmer's market, maybe a teaspoon here and there. I could give that a pass. You know, there's some food-like qualities to it. It may help your immune system, but honestly, like teaspoon quantities, you would not want to go above that. And of course, we've got a long list of synthetic sweeteners. You know, saccharin, got erythritol, Splenda, NutraSweet. You know, those things aren't foods. And the biggest rule of nutrition, don't really stress about analyzing weird ingredients. Just avoid weird ingredients. They're not foods. You know, eat simple foods. And doing so, you will become much more sweet responsive, and you will more readily pick up on that taste. And you won't need super intense things to season your foods. So that's it. And thanks for being here, and we'll talk more soon. Bye-bye.